Hey everybody, welcome to the MenoLounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, CEO of MenoWell, Menopause Energy and Protein Bars. But don't look at this one because you guys sold it out. Thank you. Thank you. So we got chocolate and blueberry with more peanut butter coming in about 30 days. You know, I see our guest here. I am not going to delay. I'm going to pull her up right now because I have been beyond on with us today. Hopefully I didn't lose my audio when I said that. Here comes Kelley. She should be right here. There she is.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, friend. How are you? I have to move back here because I look.
I'm good. Yeah, me too. I'm kind of big too. That I was like, whoa, I'm so big.
Oh, that's okay. I've got an 8 head going on today, but you know, what are you going to do? It's
Yeah,
just.
it's raining here in Houston, so it's all about humidity. So it's all here too.
I'm wearing a jacket here in the Bay Area. It's so cloudy. We got all the weathers covered here,
Me
huh?
too. I'm so happy to see you today.
Same. I miss you, friend. We
I know.
spent a lot of time at South by Southwest, going to all the things, hanging out with our favorite Gabriela Espinosa,
Mm-hmm.
and just fell in love with you because you're like my like you have a spirit animal. I want to be like her, and Kelley and I are both pint size, but she just packs a punch in her pint. So just to be formal for a second,
Yes,
Kel.
of course.
Workman, and she's a certified integrative nutrition health coach, fitness expert, Pilates pro, navigated midlife with 5 kids, became a widow at 40 years old, reinvented herself, had a business. You know, you had me at the business thing also, and just doing beautiful work in the world with midlife women. So
Yep.
I said, Kelley, you got to come on. What are we going to talk about? How to be consistent. Ooh,
Yeah.
why did you just go right to my jugular?
I don't like to pussyfoot around. Like, let's get into the business, right? Like, let's just see what's really happening here.
This is what I love about you. I'm gonna turn my volume up here. Is that you get straight to it, right at it. But just bear with me one
Yeah.
second. So I gave that like the LinkedIn version of
Yes.
you, but you're a very complex human because of your life experience.
Yeah.
Do you want to share some insights around that beautiful story?
Sure. I mean, first I want to say I'm from that generation to where both of my parents worked. My parents were divorced, and both of my parents worked, and I was kind of the latchkey adult kid in my house, right? Same as you, right? And so I feel like the way I was raised, I loved it. I think it's amazing. I just learned at a young age to be really self-sufficient, self-reliant, right? Not because my parents didn't love me or anything like this. It just was the time of that we lived in, right? No one was afraid to let your kid do something, and it was all awesome.
Right.
And I think that foundation for me has made me who I am and how I've done whatever I've done, how small or how big it is, right? Like, I was 40 and I lost my husband in a car accident. I had 5 small children at the time. Fast forward, I was 40 at the time. I'm 55 now. I have a new husband. I have a 9-year-old with him. So I have 6 kids total. I mean, through life, all of the ups and the downs and everything, I really feel like as a child growing up in that resilient kind of mindset, it just really helps me as an adult. Like, I'm so grateful that I was born when I was born and I am who I am. And I'm grateful for my menopause journey, even where I am at this time, because it's an amazing place that we're in. I'm just so grateful. Just even this live we're having today is an amazing feat of technology and everything to have this happen.
Right. This is why we connected, because that is also how I navigate through life, from a place of gratitude and joy. And when there are hard things, what is like, the sooner I can get to the gift in the difficult thing, then I know something really amazing is going to come from it. So I'm with you right there. And I love that you have this holistic approach, that when you work with clients, you look at their, not just their fitness and nutrition. Well, that's huge. You also look at their joy and their spirituality and their financial world and their friendships and their relationships, all of those pieces, because that's what puts us together as a whole person, right?
Yeah, I mean, I use the circle of life tool, which includes some of those things that you mentioned. And the thing is that I love exercise and I love nutrition, of course. But that is just one piece of who I am, and that's who we all are, right? Without our relationships with one another, whether it be work or personal, without our finances, if we're struggling financially or we've come into some money, we need to figure out what to do. All these different things make us who we are. So I don't think that I can address just your exercise without talking about your nutrition. How do you get your nutrition? Can you afford it? How do you pay for things? Where do you live? What is your home environment like? What is your work environment like? What is your sleeping like? All these things make you who you are. And that, in my opinion, is what helps me help my clients learn how to be
Mm,
consistent. That I'm not looking at one thing with them. I'm not looking at a single function. Let's see how we can perform in these little places everywhere. Because as a whole, the joy you get from doing those kind of things is just, I mean, you can't put a dollar amount on it, right? I can't barely put a word to it. It's so impactful. But
yeah,
it takes a lot of work because I think that also as women, we carry so many hats, that we feel like we must wear all these hats. And
right.
we kind of don't give ourselves that moment to figure out where do we perform in those hats? What do we really want? What brings us joy? So I think investigating each little piece is very helpful.
It's really important. I love that wheel of life because you can see where things are working for you and
Yep.
then where you're out of balance. And that really impacts consistency, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just think, oh, I don't have any willpower. We tend to put things in the willpower bucket, but I love your approach because it's hard to be consistent if your finances are off or
Mhm.
you're stressed at work that you don't even have the right foods at home or things like
Yeah.
that. So I think the fact, and it also shows you're caring, right? You're just not focused on one thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. I really, to be consistent, like in our circle of life, there's so many pieces. There's 12 pieces. The thing is that some days you're going to be uber consistent in one. Some days you're just going to barely make a dot in it, right? It's more just showing up for yourself in the places that bring you joy in that consistency. And we'll talk a little bit about it, just being consistent to yourself as a woman. I'm assuming we're speaking to most women here on this platform. Being consistent to yourself builds that trust with yourself, whether you realize it or not, right? It builds that mind body connection, whether it's exercise, finances, being late to a meeting, didn't all the things that you want to do, right? It builds in your head and it builds trust in yourself that, okay, I can make it through this hard thing today. I might have been really consistent all week. This is going to be really hard, but I can do it through this because my brain is telling me I can do it, right? So there's a lot of psychology that goes into it, really, and being consistent. It's not just about the whole willpower and muscle through it. It's not
right.
about that all the time.
That's fleeting, but what you
Yes.
said was really important. Building trust with ourselves, it
Mhm.
being in an integrity with ourselves. We talk about being in integrity with other people, but it starts with
Mhm.
ourselves and doing what we tell ourselves we're going to do.
Exactly.
So, how do you,
And
yeah,
it's those little habits,
yeah,
when we say, oh, I'm going to set up New Year's and I'm going to eat salad and I'm just going to do this. And then we know we're not going to do it when we break it, right? So we're just telling our brain the whole time, I can't really do it. I'm never going to do it. I can't do it,
yeah,
right? So just first setting up that consistency of every day, even if it sucks, whatever the thing is, I'm going to practice breathing this morning, every morning for a week. So just practice your breathing, even if it's for 1 minute. You must be consistent in that 1 minute. And then your brain's like, oh, guess what? She can do that. We are going to let her do that. We agree she can do that. And then the next week you can move on, right? And be consistent with something else. It's those little bitty habits that build onto each other. So important.
it's huge. But if you are, as most women in midlife are achievers, we've achieved certain goals, we've raised kids, whatever those things that we've done. And I'll personally myself that I tend to create
Mhm.
really big goals, and then some of them I can be very in business. I can be very consistent. In other areas, not so much, Kelly. So how important is it to have big goals that are inspiring, that pull you towards them, but then it takes a long time to achieve them, or maybe you never achieve them, versus having smaller goals to be more consistent, hitting those, and having that level of repetition and trust that you're building with yourself. What's better? I'm always
Yeah.
curious.
Julie, I have a really good client that you bring this little scenario about yourself up because she is the same. She's got these very amazing big goals going to help women all over the world with these problems that they're having, right? She's just an amazing woman. But her fitness kind of takes the downslide because she's got all of these amazing projects she's working on, very important projects. And I just saw her this week and we just had this conversation. So then right now, when this time of your life in this season, pick the small goal. Just try to close one ring on your watch. That's it. Well, I need to be doing this. No, just take your watch. Try to close one ring. I don't even care which one you close. Just pick one all week. That's all you got to worry because you're working on this other massive project, right? So very small things. It's just being consistent. It does not really matter how big or how small. It's just showing up for yourself, even if it's in the littlest way every day and figuring out, I think that we all have seasons for things, right? You're in the season of building the business. Like my client, she's been building this amazing business. So she needs to keep her fitness going, just like you would need to keep your fitness going, right? But it may not be the level that you hope in the next 5 years. You'll be done with this project. Then you can ramp this up. Then your health can be this project. But just keeping those little things going. Take an exercise snack. I tell clients all the time if they're too busy at work, right? Walk around your desk 10 times, do 10 squats, sit back down, get back on the computer, right? Go to the bathroom, do 10 squats in the bathroom and come back up. Like it could be something so small. It's just that little bit to tell your brain, hey, I'm still here. I'm still in this. Give me a little piece of my brain to do this for 2 seconds or 2 minutes. And it really makes a big difference. It really builds that trust to where it helps you feel successful and motivated from within, right? It's just this internal fire that stays lit, a little flame, but it's still there.
What about that story that, oh, that's not significant enough? Walking around my desk 10 times and doing 10 squats. Like, I need to do 20,000 steps today and I need to lift weights, blah, blah, blah. That's the other piece I think that interferes with my personal consistency is like, that's not enough. So
It's just too overwhelming also when we think like that, when we think like, I must take the 60-minute HIIT class and I must do this. No, you must not, actually. That's not true. Sure, would it be fun? Yeah. Would it be great for you? Yeah. But if that's not where you are in your life and you can walk around your desk 10 times, check the box, right? Just getting enough movement. And some days it's very hard to do, right? Other days it's super easy. So take the wins. I tell everyone, try to get some movement in every day of the week, whether that's closing one ring, walking your desk 10 times. That's your major goal for the week. So you got a big project coming up and all these things, right? So 10 times around, 10 squats, I'm done for the day. Check the box and leave it alone. Leave it for a later day, right? There's another day to come to be able to do more stuff.
that's so good. So are you saying then that being consistent is almost better than a big outcome?
100%.
And be consistent with that.
100%.
Stay small.
100.
Yep.
It's like
small.
I know, but consistency trumps intensity or perfection or anything else all the time, right? James Clear, one of my favorite authors, right? Atomic Habits. He says that all throughout his book, right? Even if you don't feel like showing up, you're having a terrible day, you feel sick, you feel whatever, show up, walk in, do a calf raise in the gym and walk out. You showed up. Your brain knows you showed up. You're like, that's not enough. Probably that's not enough to sustain you forever, but that's just one day. You got tomorrow. You got the next day. It's not like that's the only day you're going to have a chance to do it. It's more just being consistent, not worrying so much about the intensity, especially if you're a high achiever and you've got all these massive projects, right? You have to be mindful of what is taking your time. And this is the season you're in right now.
I love that. This is the season. So do what you can do. And actually it is a win if you just do the show up thing. Like if it's not that's small because it's actually hard to show up every single time. So that's a big win. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the hardest, right now I'm running a little free sauna challenge, right? Because I, just like everyone else, like, well, if I can't get in the sauna for 30 minutes, it's useless to go. I talk myself all the time. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, stop. This month, I'm working on my breathing techniques. I'm like, if I can get in there for 5 minutes, I'm going to go. So far, I've made it every day this month, whether you're on the 10th day or something, even if it's for 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Initially, it was really hard on my brain, to be honest, right? Very hard on my brain to go like, I'm going to go sit 5 minutes. What a waste of time. I'm like, stop, get back in the zone, breathe through it, because your brain thinks you must go 100 to nothing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't do that. And it's okay. So even I'm working with being consistent on something like that, right? It's totally normal.
It's good to know, Kelley.
Yes, it's like everyone has it. And we all think we're all so different or special. We're not. We're all the same.
We're just the same. So how do you know, and I want to come back to being consistent in nutrition in a second. So let's say you show up at the gym and you do your calf raises and you leave. You're like, yes, I can mark it on my calendar. Check. How do you know when you're ready and you're consistent enough to stay for 10 minutes, like go to the next level of consistency?
Well, I think really you're going to have to make, everyone is independent, right? You're going to make that decision. You're going to go, okay, I saw when I went in, I did my calf raises, and I'm going to go to this ab crunch machine. I've never done it before. I'm going to do those two things today and I'm going to leave. Just look, you'll be looking around. You'll see people getting in areas that motivate you, right? That you see things people are doing like, oh, I want to do that. I might want to do that. It will naturally occur, right? Putting yourself in places where people are doing what you really want to be doing will help you, in my opinion, in my experience, enough, right? Like that's what you just put yourself versus staying home and not doing anything. Well, you're sure not going to go do 10 minutes of calf raises if you stay home, right?
Yeah.
So just go there, see what other people are struggling with. You're going to see their faces. Some are walking with their phone like, oh, dying, right? They're like on a work call, all these different things. You're going to know you're not the only one struggling. Go do your little thing and leave. But just being around that mindset more and more, it's going to motivate you, and you're going to know when the step is right. You're going to know when you feel, oh, Saturday's here, I'm going to go for an hour of dance class or whatever, right? You're going to know when it happens.
I love that you interjected the nuance of get out of the house, because I think that has impacted people, women, myself, from being in the house from COVID, because I am a worker and I love it and I'm at my desk. It's so easy for me to be in my office. I like it a lot. And so I've had to force myself out. And when you force yourself out, that just the action of going outside, the same steps that you're walking in your house, up, down the stairs, whatever, all day long, really helps create some energy and momentum. Do you see that towards being consistent as well?
I do. Like you said, since COVID, so many people work from home and work from, remote type offices, etc. It's so good to get around. Like if you're talking about fitness, if you're wanting to increase your fitness journey and whatever that looks like for you, right? You need to put yourself in places where those people are, right? They're not in your home, okay? So you need to go places where they are. You may not want to actually participate. Maybe, I don't know exactly where you are in California, but I know like at Venice Beach, you go and you see the people working outside by the beach. Maybe you're like, oh, I might want to do that one day. Or you might walk around and see like a bunch of bikes on the sidewalk. You got to get out where people are doing things that may encourage you to do them too, right? Staying at home, watching it on Netflix is not going to be the way to do it. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
You got to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that you want to have their mind too,
I love that. Right. What's that quote? We are the 5 people that we spend the most time with, and you don't even have to know them. You just need to be around them to
That's
get
exactly right.
that good juju. But I confess, having watched like how to work out, how to lift weights, like all these things, all these videos, I've educated myself over time. I literally feel like I already worked out after watching it. Julie, you haven't done diddly do, but it's amazing how the mind works. So
yeah, I agree.
Crazy. Okay. Fitness, not
Yeah.
fitness, nutrition.
Yeah.
Consistency in nutrition. Let's talk about that. What happens if we're not consistent, and how can we be consistent?
Well, this is an old saying. I didn't make it up, but everyone talks about it. You cannot outwork, right, a bad or deficient diet. So no matter how much exercise you do, the benefits are what you feed yourself, right? With your bars, what they have in them and all the good nutrition's in them, right? You must fuel your body like it's your temple, because it absolutely is, right? It's the only one you got. So nutrition and consistency, the easiest things I tell clients, especially when they're beginning, because they're like, oh, it's too overwhelming. There's no way I could do all of this. So to keep it simple, either get a meal prep service like a MyFitFoods or a HelloFresh or something, even if you don't have to cook it at home, okay? Find a place you can buy it already pre-cooked and they ship it to your house, or you can go in and pick it out and buy it, whatever it is. Start there. If you're not a big cooker and I don't have time, I work too much, etc., right? Have someone do it for you. I promise you are wasting a couple $100 a month doing something else that you can now shovel that money to this service, right? And start eating planned out, healthful, high protein type meals with good, healthy foods in them, right? Versus eating out at restaurants all the time, assuming what you're eating is adequate. Sometimes there are great restaurants and they have a lot of good food, right? But in the beginning, when you're first,
butter,
yeah, exactly,
things that we don't.
yeah,
It's why it tastes so good, right?
and yeah, but when you're first starting out too, it's too hard. You don't know enough about what's in the food you're eating, how much protein, etc., how many carbs and this stuff. So it's too dangerous. You're thinking, oh, I'm eating this healthy salad, but really you're just like doing the opposite. But you don't know it. So hiring a service, whether it's they ship it to you or whatever, so then you have it for like a week's worth of food is in your refrigerator. You just need to go, heat it up, eat it, and go about your day. Take it to lunch with you at work or whatever you're doing. So my nutrition advice to everyone is start there. They're like, well, I don't know if I can afford it. So then I help them with their finances. Let me find you $300 this month. Let's see, what can we nix off your credit card bill that you can now ship it to your health, right? You're going to pay now or you're going to pay the doctor later. What do you want to do? This is really the only time
Can't
here,
get
right?
around Coach Kelley on that one.
You
I love
can't
it.
because it's just a fact, right? And so usually that helps because at least here, I'm sure where you are too, there's many meal plan services available. So many, and they make it so easy, delicious. Everything that's on the label for you, what's in it, what your micronutrients are. It's very simple to get your nutrition started on the right foot, right? Very simple. And then that's your first tip of consistency. Keep doing it. And then maybe if you like to cook, I don't love to cook, but I do cook. Then you can start maybe meal prepping on your own, right? Each week, pick a day in the week and meal prep some of all your proteins and that kind of stuff. Then you can start making your own food. But if that's not your thing, you just keep finding that $300 or $400 a month, and you keep doing meal prep all day long till the cows come home, and no one's gonna fault you for it. It's a great way to do it.
I love that because as women, we're like, oh, I can't afford it. I don't want to do that. And it's our health.
Hmm.
Now that especially my kids are adults, like I will invest anything in my health, anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm worth it. And before I didn't really feel that way as much because, we have to give over here and
Yeah.
tuition. You got one little one at home,
I
so you're chasing around.
do. I do.
Uh,
Well, it's funny because I'll tell my clients, I'm like, well, let me see your credit card on your phone. Okay. And I'm like, Target, Target, Target. I'm like, see these Targets? Get rid of this month. Let's go buy some food. I can't believe it. I'm like, I promise. But everyone that does it realizes, oh, I really didn't need to do it. I can't. And the food's actually pretty good. They may use 2 or 3 different meal services to get some different variety. It
yeah,
works every time because when your food is there, that's the first step of getting the consistency in your
yeah,
brain, fueling your brain with all the delicious nutrients that you need to help you stay consistent. If you're not eating well, I don't know how you stay consistent anyway. Grabbing a Coke from this thing and a banana from here, like your brain and your body is just not going to work well for you. So it's
no.
very difficult.
That's when you talked about being nutrient deficient
Yes.
because when we are at our default is to just, okay, I want to reshape my body or lose weight or however you want to say it. And they just cut the calories, do more cardio, which walking is great. Cardio is not it's not horrible. It's
Yeah.
good for our heart, all that,
Yes.
but not how we used to do it. And calories so low that I'm not paying attention to nutrients. Like I remember back in the day, not now, I've got my food and macros down, but I'll talk about my prepping of protein, which has been a game changer for me. But the old days of like, okay, I'm on a diet, and how many Weight Watchers points are 2 tacos at Taco Bell? Like, what was I
Yes.
thinking? And that changed, you know.
But it's true. But this is how also our genre of people we were brought up. My mom must have ate gallons of peel poop soup, which is like some like cabbage soup you would buy,
Oh
like,
yeah,
and you would make it, right? Like this is just how we were brought up. So we have to just realize things have shifted. The research has
right.
shifted into what we actually need, especially as we go through menopause. Like that's to me the number one goal. If I can get my ladies to actually eat food, which is
Yeah,
so hard to do,
yeah.
it's amazing.
We as a decade, as a generation, are afraid of food. We
Yes,
really
we are. We
we're
are.
afraid of calories. That's what I should say. We're not really afraid of food. We're afraid of calories, and food is
Yep.
the carrier of the calories, and we don't need to be. We need nutrients. We need to support our gut health, which supports our brain health, which supports our heart health.
Mhm.
And so we've got to read our labels. That is like my thing now because there's a lot of natural, quote unquote, natural foods in the market, but when you really read the labels, if you don't know what that thing is, not so natural, not so natural. We got to watch those sugars, all those different kinds of sugars. So,
Yeah. All
um,
the hidden things.
the hidden things, but again, we're just looking for the locale. The days of SnackWell cookies, we got to move
I knew one of us was going to bring up snack wells.
already.
Those are my favorite.
Oh, the vanilla! Are you kidding?
They're so good. I know. What the heck?
Uh,
Yeah, they were so good.
Kelley, from the nutrition consistency, once I committed to prepping protein, and if I don't prep it, I make 3 pounds of ground turkey on Sundays. Like that is just my go-to because I know no matter what, I can scoop that on eggs. I can scoop that on a salad. Now I'm having taco salad. I can scoop it on a tostada shell and have a
Mhm.
high protein tostada. Um, I can put it make a broccoli bowl. Like I can do
Mhm.
everything on the planet with ground turkey. And then I always have chicken, roasted chicken, as I'm tired of ground turkey. So I have my chicken, and that's it. I just stick with that, and it makes sure that I get my 120 grams of protein in every single day. I can just work around that. But when I hated to prep protein meat. It's like, why? It's like, oh, it's so hard. It felt hard
Yeah.
because you have to cook.
It does, and that's why in the beginning, that's why I always recommend if you want to do a meal prep service to get you used to eating this type of food, high protein foods. Because a lot of ladies also, oh, I can't eat that much. I'm going to be so full.
Yeah,
I'm going to feel so sick.
yeah,
But it takes a few weeks for your body to kind of turn over and start really utilizing all those nutrients, right? Getting rid of some of those breads and sodas, etc., right?
mm-hmm.
So I think that once you get in the habit, I meal prep every week, 4 pounds of ground beef, every week, regardless.
Yeah,
Right? I always have rice in my pantry, so my rice cookers can always be made. So I always have a good protein, a good carb. I always have avocado. If I have nothing else in my pantry, those are my staples of my kitchen,
yeah,
right? And I think everyone also has to just figure out what are their
yeah.
staples. Like what are their
For
two
their
or
life.
three or four high protein
Mhm.
that they can rotate out, season them differently, add different vegetables if they want, right? All that change, but every week you're in town, if you're there, you're prepping that every single week. It's part of your routine, like it's a meeting in your schedule, right? Nothing's going to come in the way. That's another key of being consistent. But first, so many people are so used to eating out. I met a lady a few weeks ago and I was shocked. I think she's under 40, and I was cooking some onions with my friend, and she's like, "Oh, you're so good at cutting onions." I'm like, "I've had 6 kids. I cooked a lot of meals in my life, right? We didn't eat out when you had 6 kids.
Right,
You're cooking at home." And she's
right.
like, "You're so good at that." I'm like, and she was kind of chopping around, not doing very good. I'm like, "Do you not cook?" She goes, "Oh no, I've never cooked." I'm like, "Well, what do? You have 2 sons and a husband." She goes, "Oh, we eat out every meal." I'm like, "You do?" I was just amazed because I haven't never really met anyone that doesn't ever cook. That made me realize I bet there's a lot of ladies. So I've been really asking people, how many days a week do you
Mhm.
cook? Do you cook once a week, twice a week? Do you cook every night? Like, what is your
Yeah,
shtick? And I'm finding more and more people are not cooking and they are just ordering to be delivered. Like the
right.
husband will be like, I want this, let's just order this food for in
Mm,
that night. Or the sons will bring home ham and bring home barbecue that night. So there's not a lot of cooking, which
right,
I come from an old school. My people always cooked. Like,
right,
I don't know, I make homemade biscuits and whatever you want, it came from the kitchen, you know?
right.
And so I think that so having a meal prep service to start someone out, because I think it is overwhelming. If you become too overwhelmed trying to be consistent meal prepping your own food until you kind of get the hang of, oh, it's going to taste like this, it's going to feel like this, it can be overwhelming to where you don't even do it. You're probably just letting the meat go to waste or whatever you bought. You don't even do it. It's too late. It goes on a date, you know? So
Mhm.
finding somewhere that you can buy something from that you enjoy 2 or 3 times, maybe a few weeks in a row, and then venture off on your own and be like, oh, I think I can make this ground beef the way I like it this week and make a better taco salad than I had or whatever, right?
Right.
But it's just really difficult to break the ties of the easiness of not cooking. It's
Yes.
so easy. Yeah.
That's I'm so glad that you are emphasizing this because I don't think we talk about it enough in nutrition because we talk about cooking and making
Yes.
this. But the reality is, it's very easy, especially as busy midlife women. Maybe you have high schoolers, you're just in the thick of everything, to have food delivered. We all have
Mm-hmm.
on our
Yep.
phones, in 30 minutes, you can have even something that feels healthy. I like there is a salad place, rhymes with Zipolte. Something like
Yeah. I love it.
that
Yes.
has good choices, but actually it's super caloric. You can get way out of bounds with that thing,
Yeah.
but you feel like you're doing something good for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, to cook it, you ordered it. So I think the meal prep service idea is really, really excellent until you can get comfortable
Just
making things.
Yeah, because you have to understand when you're making your own also, what does one serving of ground beef look like? What does one serving of turkey? How much chicken is a serving? So going to the meal prep service, they're prepping it for 1 serving or 2 servings or whatever. It's all on the back, right? It's very simple. So you can start understanding it. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to wait. When I make my own, I'll measure it out for a few times, right? To make sure I'm getting, you have to understand those things. And I'm not a big advocate of always counting our food, right? Like I'm sure, Julie, when you make your food, now you've gotten the habit, you know exactly what your
I
bowl looks like. You're not weighing
still
and
count
measuring.
it. I do.
You
I
do?
well, I'm really tracking my macros super carefully right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
right now I am. It's so empowering though, because when you track and weigh your food, not in an
Yeah,
obsessive way, but just understanding, like Barb, our nutritionist on our team, we always say a cup is not a cup, a tablespoon's not a
that's right.
tablespoon. Scoop of protein is not a scoop. There's always some kind of bubble in there, and you think you're getting X
Yep.
amount of grams of protein, and you're not, or you could be getting way more. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's doing that now.
Well,
So
I love it. I love that you're doing it. I just think once you get used to doing it, right? It's much simpler, right? Again, just going back to the consistency part. If you give people too many things, they're not going to do anything, right? It's
right,
overwhelming, and I'm shut
right,
down. I can't do it.
right.
So first, learning what your meal prep service, what does that one serving look like, right? And then maybe venture on your own and figure out, okay, well, this said it was this much, and then okay, well, this looks like this, and then start counting it. How many grams of protein did I get? Did I get enough fiber today? What does that look like? I think it is very empowering every day, because I'm trying to shoot for about 140 to 150 grams of protein a day for what I'm doing
That
training wise.
is amazing. You
But
are
the
a
thing is, but
fit.
I always feel like what you just said though, at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I've got 30 more to do. What do I want to eat? I'm gonna have a yogurt today. I'm gonna do like I get excited because I'm like, I'm almost hit my goal. I don't feel sick, I don't feel overstuffed, but I know, okay, I'm gonna be able to function high level tomorrow for this workout I have to do, right? So it is very empowering. But I think it's baby steps for most people, because first off, what does this food even look like? Is also, the food might look pretty small, to be honest,
Mm.
Julie. If they come up and their packages like this, they're like,
Right.
is this for
They're
a
just,
baby? They're like,
I
is this for a baby?
$20 for
Yeah,
what?
yeah. But really, this is actually what you should be eating. It's going back to those use your saucer plates, not your dinner plates for dinner, right? To get
Right.
the right amount of protein and vegetables
So
that you need.
nutrient dense, you don't necessarily have, unless you can have a lot of vegetables,
Correct.
which the fiber adds. That's a good thing too.
Correct, correct. But you have to get used to it again, because we've had so much takeout now. Let's just say since 2019, our whole world has been Uber Eats or whatever other app that you use,
Yeah,
right? So if we're going to do this consistently, we have to get back to a little bit of those old school ways and figuring out what does it look like for nutrition. Because again, you can walk all the steps, you can lift all the weights. If you do not feed this body, your temple, it's only going to be able to perform at a certain degree. And that's where you're going to max out. I mean, there is no way around it for anybody.
I love that. And I love that you're saying perform, because when we are consistent with our nutrition, we are feeding our energy, because we're all
Mhm.
tired without eating the right foods. We're working on our sleep. Like, it just impacts our entire experience when we can get our nutrition and our fitness right. I would say those things are our biggest levers that we have, especially in menopause, where so many things kind of feel out of control.
Yep.
We can control what we eat. We can control how we move our bodies. So
100%. I love this. I love this talk that I give to some ladies, because when you're in menopause, you feel like everything is, oh, all these things are happening to me. Why me? I didn't know. And all these flashes, la, 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 which are all true. But the thing is that you're right. The thing you can control is, what am I going to eat today?
mhm.
Do I feel like eating? Why am I craving sugar? Like, there's so many resources online. There's so many great books have been written about how our hormones change, when our insulin goes down, what happens. All of these things now we know, and it's out there for the public viewing, right?
Right.
So just learning these few basic things. I mean, your midlife after cessation of your cycle, I mean, could be really, to be honest, the best time of your life. You may have thought the 20s
Yeah.
and 30s were awesome, but I personally feel, I've been in menopause for 4 years, and I feel better in my own skin, in my own body, in my own head than I felt at 36 when I had my fifth child.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I did not anticipate this being true.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought it was, I'm getting old, I'm time to die, like I'm just getting old and frail. It's actually 100% the opposite. I was old and frail when I was young, managing 1,000 things and running around like a chicken with my head cut off,
Mm,
eating salad all the time,
mm.
right?
Oh,
Now I feel like a totally
yeah.
different person.
Yes. That we don't realize that we're actually old and frail when we're doing all those things in our 30s and 40s.
Yes.
And the opportunity to be strong and confident and consistent in our 50s, because we are now postmenopausal, which we are for life, is really an amazing, amazing time. Yeah.
Yes. I I 100% wholeheartedly agree. I think that the real world acknowledgement of this, like more women that have these feelings, that get their hormones in check and whatever they need to have happen there, get their nutrition in check. We're going to have a big uprising of these women understanding and preaching like, this is not bad. This is not the end. This is actually geez, the big beginning we didn't even know we got.
Right.
Like we were never told it was a big beginning. Now all
Right.
of a sudden it is. You can have muscle, you can be strong, you can be agile, you can play games with your grandchildren, with your children, you can play basketball. You don't have to have a walker to walk you down the stairs, right? All of these things just weren't, this wasn't my thinking when I was a kid, right? This is going to happen. I was going to
No.
have, my hair was going to turn gray, which I color my house right now. My hair was going to turn gray. And but it's just not that
Yeah.
way, you know, it's a totally different lifestyle. And really it all has to do around eating plenty of protein. I've not felt better in my life. And I've competed in many things when I was younger, and I died to be competing in things like
Right.
this.
Fitness.
Yeah. But now I feel so much better, and I'm eating so much more food, healthy food,
Yeah.
that I ever have in my whole life.
It
Ever.
shows. It shows. Okay. I think I told you this before. Don't get creeped out. But you know, there's that picture of you at Gabriella's holding the MenoWell bars,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
wearing that cute outfit with your
Um,
midriff, with your amazing midsection and your abs. It's currently my screensaver, Kelley.
Julie, I love that. Thank you. I had your two MenoWell bars. My box is there. It's just
It's so
midlife is
great.
such a great time. You could do whatever you
Right.
want.
I'm working towards it, girlfriend. I'm not kidding because you're such a great role model. And I know, I've got my food down, but it's my fitness, not being consistent with my fitness, that's really not optimizing the way I'm eating.
Sure.
So, those two things together, I'm going to get to my ideal body fat by the end of the summer. I'm just saying.
The thing is that you're so busy in your career right now, so just start taking your little snack breaks. 5 minute walk around the block, 5 minute walk around your desk. Air squats are amazing. You can do them anywhere. I've got some some wives I train that the men ask me for tips. I'm like, every time you go to the bathroom, do 10 squats on the toilet. What? I'm like, no one will see you and you won't look weird. He's like, okay, I'll do it. You just don't realize the little things like that all add
Yeah.
up. Just being able to get your body weight up and down, do some lunges, do some jumping jacks, like whatever it is, take 1 minute, do 10 and be done. That's all you got to do. Just be consistent a little bit each
A
day.
little bit each day, it all adds up.
It
Um,
does.
I know you've given a lot of tips in here. I don't know, did we leave anything out that you would want to say? And then I want you to
Um,
just give us some insight on your big adventure coming up in a couple.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm so excited. I do want to say, I think with consistency, you have to remember that you must be flexible, right?
Mm,
You cannot be rigid in your consistency because consistency looks different every day, every minute of the day, every week,
mm,
right? So you cannot be so rigid, like, well, I had planned to do this hour class, but now my son is sick. I have to go to the doctor and take him home or whatever, right? That's fine. Take the kid home, get him well, go outside, hot, cold, rain, I don't care, get an umbrella, walk the block one time. That's it for the day. Yes, you missed your 60-minute class. Do something for your movement today. I don't care what it is, right?
mm.
Don't be so rigid that you cannot stay consistent because consistency trumps everything. It's
Write
so
that
easy.
down, everybody. Consistent
Yes.
trumps everything because when those things happen, we let ourselves off the hook. It's a psychological, like, oh, I can't do it because of all these other things, but there's always going to be something, always. So be
Yeah.
flexible with that matters, right?
Yeah. Just be so pliable that you matter too.
Mm,
Just like everything else around you matters to you, you also matter. So don't forget you owe it to yourself too to be flexible. Just your son got sick or whatever happened at work. I mean, they're all being flexible. They're all changing the days. You can change the day too. Like you're allowed to do that. Even the little bit.
especially midlife. Shoot, we've been taking care of everybody all this time. We get to put
Amen.
ourselves.
I think especially in midlife. Take your 10-minute snack break and don't you even tell nobody. Just get up and go. It's a need to know basis and nobody
It's
needs to know.
a meeting,
It's a
Kelley. I'm gonna
it's
meet
a
this myself.
that's right. It's a meeting with myself. Look, my counter's got a lot of purple in there. What's that purple mean? It's a me to know and you not to know.
That's right. Nanya. Nanya.
Not yet. That's right.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God. Okay, Kel, you're doing something amazing, which I may or may not have binged on some of the videos about this morning because I needed to figure it out. Like, what is she doing over there? So tell us about this incredible adventure you're on at 55, which I love. So go ahead.
Julie, I'm so excited. So I've been trying for 3 years to get a ticket to this event. It's called 29029 Everesting. They do it in the summer months at many mountains like Aspen, Park City, Sun Valley, Jackson Hole, Stratton, Mont Blanc, many mountains they do it. And the goal is you're going to ascend 29,029 feet, which is the same height as going up Everest one time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, each of these mountains, you have to go up many times to get that many vertical
Right.
feet. So I'm climbing Jackson Hole on the 27th of June, 28th. It's 19 times up in 36 hours. Now you gondola down because if anyone knows much about climbing, walking down a mountain that many times is very dangerous for your knees, likely to have injuries. So none of these events do that. You climb, hike up, and you gondola down, and you do it X amount of times, and you have so much time to complete it. So I turned 55 this year in February, and I saw a friend of mine had posted that he had got a ticket to Jackson Hole. I immediately texted him, I'm like, how'd you get that ticket? I've been trying for 3 years. And what I realize now is the universe was trying to give it to me 2 or 3 years ago. I just wasn't prepared because there's a lot of training involved. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had to stop a lot of things that I love to do so I could do this training that they prescribed for you to be successful on the mountain, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I just probably wasn't ready for 2 or 3 years. So this was my ticket. So he said, if you buy the ticket right now, I'll give it to you. Immediately stopped my workout, got on my phone, bought the ticket, and I was in. So I'm so excited to do it. And really, I'm doing it for myself right now. Like, I'm a woman's been in menopause 4 years. I've been on HRT. I'm doing all these things, all this protein. Let's see what I got. What do I have in me that I can do? Like there'll be 20-year-olds, there'll be 70-year-olds on this mountain, right? All different levels. Everyone won't finish the mountain, all these things, right? So I'm just really excited to challenge myself to push it and see what I can do. What can my body do? What can my mind do? Really, what can my mind do is really what it
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
It is. I have run a marathon before, and this is like 3 marathons or something. I think I read when I was
Yeah.
looking at some of the training videos.
Yeah.
Like the mountain in Lake Tahoe is like
Yeah.
3 marathons, and so
Yes.
um, it's the mental going back
Yeah.
to consistency and how it ties together.
Yeah.
That mind over body, that mental. When you're physically fit, and I know you're going to be ready. I saw you, walking around with your 20 weight
That's
right
right.
back. I
That's
don't know.
right.
Training in Houston, it's flat as hell there, so I don't know.
I know there's not many hills. You got to make up your own.
Come to California, we'll go to take you to Tahoe. No, you're there. I'm sure you're ready now. But it's the mental aspect of that 15th, or it's like on a marathon, the 16th
Yeah.
miles when it starts to talk to you. Your body, your legs are still working, your lungs are working, but the mind is like,
You're done.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you preparing for that part, Kelley?
Well, we do on our training protocol, we have a mindset minute each week, but also I'm doing a lot of breath work. I'm also yoga certified. I did a lot of yoga in the days. And so I do a lot of breath work. Also, I'm just consistently staying on my schedule. Even when I don't. Today I hopped on our call today because I was running out of time. I had to take a few fires out. I can't talk today. And so I just was finishing my workout, coming here in my workout clothes still, because I'm like, this is what's happening. So
Hell
it's
yeah.
just staying consistent each day, right? With the training, mentally is preparing me what I have to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm just doing exactly what they told me to do
Mm-hmm.
day by day, made the time to do it. And so I think that mentally, between that and my breath work, a lot of breath work will be involved because climbing altitude and coming back down just to keep my heart rate low enough so I don't expend too much energy, that too. But I love breath work. Oh, I love breath work so much.
Oh my gosh, this is what I love about your holistic approach because in addition, I mean, Pilates, there's
Yeah.
tons of different things about Pilates. And actually, I don't want to talk about, will you come back on and talk about Pilates? Because
Yeah.
there's, there's a little bit of controversy. Is it, building enough muscle? Is it good for menopause? Don't answer because
I
I know
won't.
you have an answer. I
Let's
want,
talk about it. I do. I've been certified 25 years and I've done it from rehab patients to super conditioned athletes. And I'm a big believer. And for sure, let's talk about it again because I love reformer Pilates.
don't you
Love
have
it.
a reformer
I
in your
have
house?
two. I can't probably show you because we're on camera. I have one right there and I have one in front of me.
Amazing.
Yeah, I have two. Yeah,
Okay. So, pinky promise that
I
you're
we will. 100%.
not exactly pinky, but close enough, right?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Jules.
Do a deep dive on reformer. But Kelley, thank you so much for sharing your gifts today. You are so inspiring. You walk your talk, and you are just a badass in a small package, and or like I say, small but mighty. And I really appreciate you sharing. I know we're just tip of the iceberg on all the things you know, but consistency can be the hardest thing. We can be so smart and know all the things, but that gets us every time. So
Yeah, I just hope the ladies that hear this just remember it's all just a process, right? Be kind to yourself, be nice to yourself. If it's 1 minute, if it's 30 seconds, just do it and be done and let it go. The next day, you might do another 30 seconds. You may be on 30 seconds for the whole month. I don't even care. Just a little bit each day will train your brain to be like, hey, she thinks she's important enough to do this. I might support her doing this, right?
Yeah.
It's that mind body connection. It doesn't have to be a lot. As you get into it, it needs to be a little bit more. I agree, for health and fitness. But just to build those blocks of consistency when you're really down in all of your work and family and money, all the things that happen for everyone in our life, right? Just a little pinch for yourself each day, your brain will jump on board with you. I know that happens every
I
time.
love that. A little pinch for yourself. I heard
Yes.
something the other day that the brain doesn't have any eyes. It only knows what we tell it.
That's right.
Like it doesn't see. It's amazing.
That's right.
So make
That's
sure
exactly right. I love that. I love that.
think
It's
about it.
true. That's what.
Only knows what to tell it.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? I know you have a new program coming out.
I do. I do. My website is kelleymoves.com and everything is on my website. I do have a new app coming out so I can kind of hit more people that don't always live right around me. There's only so many hours a day I can train people. So I'm hoping the app will be done mid-June and probably kick it off live in July. Just a 90-day program. Again, kind of like this, learning how to be consistent and learning new habits that fit into your personal lifestyle. It's not a cookie cutter, right? I'm not going to work with a bunch of people that I have to give you just one training plan or one food plan. It needs to be individual that you can sustain it when you don't need me in 90 days. You know, so that's kind of what I'm running. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, I can't wait. We can come back and talk about it when you're ready to release it. We'll talk about Pilates. We'll do all the things then.
Yes, for sure. I love it for our former Pilates. We need to do that because I love that.
Okay. We're going to be cheering you on your major accomplishment upcoming, and it's June 25th, 27th.
It's the Friday, it's 27th and 28th, the Friday and the Saturday at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yep.
We got you. We're going to be there with you. Go,
Thank
go,
you.
go, go.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay. Be well. Grateful
Be
for
well.
you.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun.
Come again.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.